Forget everything you know about this show, ladies and gentlemen. The last 2 mid-episodes be damned. Just when I was out, they pulled me back in. This episode was incredible. Rebecca Sugar, known for writing some of the most goated episodes in the OG show, cooked once again. We finally have gotten more answers to the stuff that had been set up back in the first few episodes of this season. We also finally got some amazing action that was severely lacking this season. Huntress gives the middle finger, and we are given a major lore reveal that I guarantee barely anyone was expecting. This is a breakdown of Fionna and Cake Season 2 Episode 9, The Worm and His Orchard. We begin in Fionna's headspace, starting off directly from the ending of Episode 8. We can spot Fionna's classic sword, as well as that zombie duck from the Winter King's dimension that's been haunting her all season. Huntress then appears and Fionna slips into her headspace, witnessing Huntress's most traumatic memory, the death of her adoptive parents in that abrupt fire. Fionna enters and we hear baby Huntress crying,
"I'm never gonna get back home. I won't be able to save Finn."
It's amazing to see the more vulnerable side of her, confirming that despite looking all nonchalant on the outside, deep down she feels so broken, so scared. Fionna sulks next to her, and after comforting Huntress, the fire stops, and out comes the heart of the forest. Huntress was banging on the door, trying to force it open. It's only when Fionna comforts her that she can calm down and view the true path.
"I thought the way to the heart would be within you, but it was in my innermost."
This echoes what Dream Warrior said to her.
"Follow the beat to the roots. A broken tool seeks the flame."
I mentioned in my analysis of that episode that Spirit Warrior was telling Huntress to look inside herself to get back to the heart, and that's pretty much what occurs here. Also, this scene confirms that Huntress was in fact the broken tool, and the flame she's seeking lies in the form of the fire that killed her parents, where all her trauma stems from. She's about to cut the heart of the forest, presumably to get the cure for Finn, but she chooses against it, and they have a cute moment. Finally, Fionna, Huntress, and Cake are transported to that same dimension back in episode 2, which we find out is called the Undergrowth. I'll now go through each plot separately. Let's start with Cake's. Cake follows Fionna to the lower level of the Undergrowth, where she comes across this deity, known as the Karmic worm. This is the voice that spoke to Huntress back in episode 2. We learn of these red orbs he calls pain balls. These are apparently thoughts that drop down from beings from throughout the multiverse. Karmic worm's job is to eat them, process them, and plant them on these trees. He states,
"A new framework, a little lighter. When they're ripe, they'll float on back to their source."
This is why I love this show, man. It kind of reminds me of those orbs back in Inside Out, but this concept of trying to reframe bad thoughts, looking at them in a new light, is such an incredibly layered idea. Massive props to the creativity of the writers of this episode. Karmic Worm and Cake begin to bond while looking for Fionna, when he says,
"The only thing I miss is being around other deities."
Cake then opens up to him about how she feels so out of place in her world. She's been trying to be someone she isn't, as we saw with Mkron, and the worm gives her some amazing philosophical advice, kind of reminiscent of what Jake went through in the episode Abstract.
"Thoughts come here to transform. It's amazing. And not just because of what changes. The changes reveal what stays the same, the truth."
He explains that bad thoughts are inevitable and that they may return again and again, cycling through the Undergrowth. Each time they come back though, they offer a chance to learn and grow. This clearly echoes Fionna's development in this season. She makes mistakes repeatedly, and it's only by letting those thoughts run their course that she can finally learn how to change for the better. This also relates to the saying, "Time heals all wounds." Eventually, what's hurting you and what haunts you will eventually take on a new form. And one day, you're gonna wake up and you'll find that actually those bad thoughts won't hurt so bad anymore. Just like Jake struggled with his identity in Abstract, he eventually sees himself in a new light after he realizes,
"As long as I know the shape of my soul, I'll be alright."
Again, episode 9 is just ridiculously good, man. It's insane to me how we go from those okay 2 episodes to something so profound and goated. I suppose the more mundane episodes were there to hype up what follows. And before anyone comes at me saying, "Oh, you just didn't get it." Oh, believe me, I understood everything. It just failed to keep me engaged because of its boring and uninteresting plot. Cake and the worm begin to bond, and it becomes clear that they like each other. Honestly, good for her and good for Mkron. The last episode established that these two just aren't meant for each other. I believe her plot is now the beginning of Fionna's world breaking free from what their counterparts had originally established. And honestly, I'm all for it. Let's now go to Fionna's plot. Because she's depressed as hell, she lets herself fall to the lowest floor and is about to get eaten by this Venus flytrap. But then...
Who are you?
Come on! Oh my god!
My boy Fern is back. I can't express to you the amount of joy I had seeing him again. He's the one true GOAT for me, and it cannot be understated how much I love his new design. I also love that Fionna asks him,
"So, are you Finn's doppelganger?"
I take it that spending all that time with Fennel made her realize who Fern is. He says he remembers dying back in the finale of Come Along With Me, but then his consciousness was somehow transported here. This just makes me question what that new Finn sword really is. Is there another Finn in there? Or is it just a sword that looks the same? He tells Fionna that he tried to be like Finn, to try and have his life, to which Fionna responds,
Sounds familiar.
it's a clear nod to her feeling useless all season and her attempt to live up to being a hero like Finn. Fern then shows her this tree that he claims to be very special to him.
Touch it.
She touches the pain orbs to witness some of the worst memories Finn's had. This tree reminds me of how Finn represses all of his bad thoughts deep in his head, a place he calls the Vault. Fionna sees his arm get taken off and then witnesses a memory of Finn and Huntress playing BMO. He says to her,
You know, you could beat me at video games more often if we lived together.
You see, I saw a lot of people hating the scene when it appeared online, saying the same thing over and over. Oh my god, why do the writers hate Finn so much? Now, yeah, I'll agree, the poor guy has really been sidelined this season, but this scene isn't meant to shit on him. It's meant to shit on Huntress for always being so cagey, and not letting him into her heart, but of course it still caused Finn a lot of pain. Fionna then sees the biggest pain orb.
You don't want to see that one. Trust me.
Honestly, I'm glad they aren't showing us Jake's death. It's actually far more impactful not to. Just hearing Jeremy Shada's gut-wrenching scream, easily the most powerful scream he's ever done in the show, is enough to convey just how heartbreaking it was. Also, judging by the way Finn is dressed, we can infer that Jake died shortly after that adventure we saw Prisma watching back in season 1. This could mean that Jake's death might have been really abrupt, considering he looks healthy here. Also, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but since Finn looks mostly the same as he does in the memory of playing video games with Huntress, this scene could take place shortly after Jake's death, which would make it an even more painful memory for him. Fern says that these pain balls of Finn aren't ready to float up just yet because he's not ready to deal with them. Again, this is basically the physical version of his vault. Fionna then comes across another tree filled with memories of her friends back in her universe. We see a memory of Gary where he decides to go for a walk instead of eating the food he cooked for his family. We see him eating a hot dog next to Starchy. I'm gonna be real, this confused me a lot. Like, so what, brother? Just eat the food you made. But I think this might be about how he chooses to sacrifice his well-being for the sake of others. I honestly would love to know what you guys make of this painful memory. Let me know down in the comments. Also, leave a like and subscribe while you're down there. We're almost at the end of the season, and I'll be breaking down the finale next week. Also, Marceline character breakdown is on the way, and spoiler alert, might be my best and longest video to date. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Fionna then sees a memory of Ellis. It's that scene we saw 2 episodes ago, but honestly, I have no idea what to make of this.
Go beyond the end of the peach.
This might just be referencing something integral to how Fionna and the gang will deal with Queenie and the sweet spot next episode. Again, leave your thoughts down below. She witnesses Hannah Abadir's overbearing parenting to Marshall, along with Hunter saying what we've all been thinking about Fionna this season.
I just wish she would get her shit together.
She then witnesses a painful memory of her own. We see her at a young age chilling at an animal shelter with these stray cats. Judging by these lines,
Who's the kid?
I don't know. She doesn't really talk to anyone but the cats. Boss doesn't mind. Says a stray is a stray.
Wow, that's sad.
does this mean that Fionna went to an animal shelter instead of an adoption service? That's actually so f***ed. I kinda wish we got more of her backstory this season. I theorized in my episode 1 breakdown that we might see her version of Martin and Minerva, but we haven't yet. They're probably saving her lore for our potential season 3. She then finally sees the Winter King again and breaks down, realizing that she lets everyone around her down. I actually really liked the scene of her witnessing all of her friends' painful memories along with Finn's. We saw back in episode 7 that she tends to glorify them, thinking they've all got their shit together, but they really haven't, and they're all going through their own struggles. Also, seeing Finn's memories, I hope, puts into perspective that the shit that she's going through is really not that deep and can be fixed. I think Fionna's arc is a good idea on paper, but in execution, I just wish it was a bit more interesting to watch. That's just a me thing personally. Again, I really don't care for the Riverdale drama she's going through. I mean, we see from this episode that she's got an extremely tragic past. Why didn't we just explore that this season instead of her chasing after Felix nonstop? This episode is proof of how poorly paced and balanced the entire season has been. Let's now go to Huntress's plot. She hears screeching coming from the branches above and finds a creature named Russell, infected with this poison. She heals him and finds out that a lot of his world has also been infected. She then comes across Witch Wizard.
You followed me, dog?
Honestly, I always felt like they were setting up a rivalry for these two in their first encounter, and now we finally get a rematch. Witch Wizard has gone full anime, taunting Huntress with the empty container that had the cure for Finn's illness. It's revealed she's been infecting the undergrowth by absorbing all of the green magic. Huntress, realizing that the cure might be gone for good, thinks of Finn in these brief flashes, before charging after Witch Wizard. And yet again, just like their previous encounter, an amazing fight sequence commences. Holy shit, I was hyped as fuck. Huntress gets her eye taken out, but that's about the only permanent damage she takes in the fight because she's a badass. I mean, she gives Witch Wizard the finger mid-fight. She then stops fighting her, realizing that absorbing all that green magic is slowly devouring Witch Wizard. And so...
I'm a god here! Do you hear? A god!
Eventually, Fionna and Fern meet up with Cake and the Karmic Worm, who reveals that he was in fact Cosmic Owl's brother, who was banished here after the two ate the etheric pizza.
Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone.
Do what?
Because I f***ing called it!
Apparently though, this was revealed in the credits. Thank God I didn't see that. Finding out this way was so much better. Karmic Worm shows us some of the Cosmic Owl's pain orbs, saying,
But I can't bring myself to eat his regrets.
And the pair revealed to him that he died not too long ago. Cake then says,
It's okay, hon. Let it out.
Karmic Worm takes this quite literally and says,
That's worth a try. Our kind are like ideas. Hard to kill outright.
And so he breaks open the orb and the Cosmic Owl is reborn. This confirms that deities are immortal in some way, that their thoughts work differently from those of mortals. They have a heartwarming reunion, with Karmic Worm telling Cosmic Owl that he forgave him thousands of years ago. Again, so happy they gave some depth to Cosmic Owl this season. Karmic Worm tells him that it's okay to feel regret and sees how much he's been hurting ever since the two were split up. And so, Cosmic Owl travels to Orbo, who's trying to put a comatose Finn on trial.
What's he up to, man? What's he doing?
Cosmic Owl comes out of his own corpse, giving the deities a heart attack, saying that he got stabbed on purpose, confirming the theory that Cosmic Owl charging after Huntress was more of a suicide. He then decides to quit his job. What a goated end for him this season. Honestly, his job sucked. Imagine being responsible for countless deaths just by being forced to appear in their dreams. Cosmic Owl also proves to be a very selfless character, choosing to absolve Fionna, Huntress, and even Finn, despite him having nothing to do with it, effectively redeeming himself for sending his brother to the Undergrowth. Now, it's a bit unclear how his powers work. Can he teleport back to the Undergrowth? The way Karmic Worm speaks about their reunion makes it seem like he won't ever see him again. It kind of makes me feel like the Undergrowth is the afterlife of deities, perhaps. I don't know, the episode doesn't really explain this. Huntress reconvenes with the group, and they all say their goodbyes. Cake chooses to stay with the worm, wanting to explore a new world where she finally feels like she belongs. The two hug, with Cake grabbing Huntress. It's not adventure time without the wholesomeness. Huntress says she's gonna find another way to save Finn, and that she believes in Fionna to set things right. My only problem with this scene is why the is Huntress not interacting with Fern? They had some brief scenes in the Come Along With Me finale. Surely she could have had some words for him, man. Anyways, Finn comes back to Ooh, and PB decides on one last resort, calling his mother Minerva. Now, this could mean two things. One, she's calling her so she can say goodbye to her son, or the more likely option, she's calling him so that his consciousness can be uploaded into a computer, just like her consciousness was. And then maybe Finn can be re-uploaded into a new body, like a robot body. If that happens, I don't know how I'll feel about it. I'm sure Huntress will come in the nick of time though. Oh yeah, the episode ends with her seemingly being trapped in the Undergrowth after the portal back to Ooh breaks. Any guesses on how she gets back? It might be related to how her seeds landed in different universes, since that's one of the plot threads that hasn't been addressed yet. We still have to find out what's making Prismo glitch too. Poor guy's been going through it this season. I hope we get to see a wholesome reunion though, with him and the Cosmic Owl in the finale. Overall, what a phenomenal episode. Genuinely, this season has been such a roller coaster. It started extremely strong, lost me in the middle for like 2 episodes, but man, this episode just gave us so much lore and so many profound themes. It actually feels like they gave an even amount of time for each of our 3 main characters. Why couldn't every episode have this sort of quality? Again, if you like the boring ass Riverdale plot of Fiona's world, that's fine, but this episode made me remember why I fell in love with this franchise. The fictional and the mystical aspects and the world building is what I've been craving. It is what made Adventure Time Adventure Time. Like, you can't deny that this aspect of the season is undeniably more compelling than the slog that is Fionna and Felix's love triangle plot. I'm now also starting to believe that Huntress will no longer sacrifice herself to become a deity like Betty did. I hope we get a wholesome conclusion to her story, and we get some more scenes with Finn. My optimism for the finale is back, and I truly hope that it sticks the landing. Be sure to subscribe, as I will be analyzing the finale too. I'm also working on a big character analysis of Marceline that I'm sure all of you will love. Subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Leave a like if you enjoyed, consider joining my Patreon if you want to support me further, follow my Instagram linked down below, and I want to thank you for watching.